And this is what sources are now telling us here at CNN News 18 on day 2 of the ongoing G20 summit here in the national capital. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau are expected to engage in the India-Canada pull-aside talks. These pull-aside talks come after India's multiple concerns regarding growing Khalistan extremism and Canada pausing the trade deal with the national capital. So this is what we're picking up by the means of sources telling us what the pull-aside between the Prime Minister and Justin Trudeau could look like. Let's also now bring in our colleague Siddhant, who in fact is getting us this crucial information. Siddhant, as far as the issue of extremism and Khalistan is concerned, this has been an ongoing concern for India with the kind of events that we've seen in the past. Many also possibly feeling that the Canadian authorities or the government has possibly gone soft, and that is why you continue to see a pattern of these incidents. What are sources telling you as far as the pull-aside between both the leaders are concerned?
Well, the sources are telling us that this meeting is expected to take place later in the day, and perhaps it's not a bilateral meet. They have specifically mentioned this, that it is not going to be a bilateral meet, but it is leveled down from a bilateral meet, which is pull-aside meet. And Prime Minister Modi is surely going to raise the issue of Khalistan on Canadian soil. The sources have confirmed this to us because there have been series of such attacks on Indian community, attacks on Indian diplomatic missions. There was also depiction of the last moment or perhaps the assassination movement of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi.
True.
Then every second month there is temple vandalism taking place in Toronto, Vancouver and other places in Canada. So there is a constant fear in which the Indian community is living in Canada, and perhaps that is going to be the talking point, and that is going to be the concern which Prime Minister Modi is going to flag off or perhaps raise in a pull-aside meeting with Justin Trudeau. Also, interestingly, it is also being said that Trudeau is being seen less participating in the multilateral forums or engagements which are taking place since yesterday, and in fact some of the media houses have also reported that the state broadcaster is also not giving enough footage to Justin Trudeau. So it clearly establishes the dip in relations between the two countries, and in fact the FTA talks have also been kept on hold due to this. That particular issue can also be discussed between the two leaders, but the first and the most important one is going to be the issue of Khalistan, the attacks on temple, and the situation of Indian community which is constantly living under fear in Canada.
Right. Siddhant, before I talk to you about what we can expect as far as going forward by the time India's presidency ends with the conclusion of this summit, while on one hand, almost everybody is hailing what India has managed to achieve as far as its presidency, specifically the inclusion of the African Union. But what we also need to focus on is the absence of China and even Russia, the leaders like Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. What are experts on the ground telling you? Do they feel that their absence has some sort of impact as far as what India could have achieved with this presidency and also the outcome of the summit?
Well, look, it's a very broad subject if we want to talk on this subject, but breaking it down for our viewers, then I personally feel that she was expecting what is going to happen in India, in New Delhi at G20 summit, because the way India has managed to build consensus, the way India has managed to overpower the Western countries, the G7 bloc